Booker. Yeah, he's doing something. What's Cory Booker doing? Well, Cory Booker broke the record. He broke the record by saying, we got to get serious here. Cory Booker praised for a historic stand against Trump and Elon Musk. Elon Musk. So, apparently, this is him answering the call. Ring, 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 ring. I know a lot of people are saying it's very historic. Answering the voting public's growing call for the Democratic Party to actually stand up to Republicans' sweeping assault on the federal government led by U.S. President Donald Trump and his billionaire advisor Elon Musk. Senator Cory Booker took to the Senate floor at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday and spoke for 25 hours and 5 minutes, shattering a record for the chamber's longest speech. Early in his remarks, Booker, the Democrat from the great state of New Jersey, cited the example of late Congressman John Lewis, a civil rights icon who famously declared in 2020, get in good trouble, necessary trouble, and help redeem soul of America. Booker, who ran for president in 2020, which was a piss-poor campaign, explained Monday that he asked himself, if he's my hero, how am I living up to his words? What happened in the last 71 days in the patent demonstration of a time where John Lewis' call to everyone has, I think, become more urgent and more pressing. So tonight, I rise tonight with the intention of getting in some good trouble. I rise with the intention of disrupting normal business in the United States Senate for as long as I'm physically able to. All right. So let's talk about this. Before we do, Ted Cruz, first of all, as Cory Booker approaches my 21-hour filibuster record, I'm contemplating pulling the fire alarm. Ted Cruz, you're one to talk because no one likes listening to you either. Okay, I mean that's just spot on. But I want to just pull up this video here first of all, because I mean this is Cory Booker speaking for like 25 hours. All right, 25 hours. This is at the 18-hour mark though.
To anyone?
Nobody.
So he just wants national
Maybe
attention.
he has a few fans.
Well, there are a couple other senators who occasionally ask him questions and he yields the floor. But by yielding for a question, then he still controls the floor. This is not a filibuster, by the way.
So here's what did you miss last night when you made that dumb decision to sleep?
I rise with the intention of disrupting the normal business of the United States Senate for as long as I am physically able. I rise tonight because I believe sincerely that our country is in crisis. We are not solving the deficit in what they're proposing here. They're cutting and cutting and cutting things that make no sense to cut. And they're doing it for a tax breaks which disproportionately go to the wealthiest. Placing tariffs on our biggest trade partners is beyond unfair. This drives the cost of goods up, and the consumer is the one who ends up paying the increase. Even with universities got too woke and had two excesses, the antidote to that isn't to try to shut down the thought of the left. It's to try to make a fair, more competitive marketplace for ideas from all around the political spectrum.
How would you do that?
I mean, there are just several things that he said are just not true. He's still running on the tax cut for the rich. Not true. And most Americans understand that. And they believe that under the past administration, when Donald Trump had his first term, that they got a tax break. They know that to be true. He also talks about the university campuses. So you're going to side with the people that are blocking the Jews from going to class right now? That's not going to work with the American people. And just over and
Now, of course, there's another thing here, too, because there's always a storybook phrase. Because here's a little bit more of Cory Booker speaking, because I got some. Please stay tuned. Because Cory Booker's standing up against Trump. I get it. Yes, Democrats, you have a bad brand right now. I mean, your approval rating's abysmal. But I'm not going to forget last year. You got one more video of this, and then I got some spicy stuff to share with you, just to remind you. Sometimes Cory Booker doesn't practice what he preaches.
And now it's our generation. We have to redeem the dream. We have to excite people again. He, in the highest office of our land, wants to divide us against ourselves, wants to make us afraid, wants to make us fear so much that we're willing to violate people's fundamental rights. We're willing to go after the speech on college campuses. We're willing to go after law firms, go after the freedom of the press. Don't let him do that. Don't become like him. Be an American that says, I look to the future and I'm excited. Yes, things are tough right now. They're hard, they're scary, they're hurting, but we can overcome this. Our American history, if it's nothing else, American history, if it's nothing else, It is a perpetual testimony to the achievement of impossible things against impossible odds. We are a nation that is great, not because of the people that are trying to whitewash our history. To remove great people, Native Americans, Black people, and women from our military websites. I don't want a Disneyfication of our history.
No one should want a Disneyfication of our history because Disney's going broke.
I don't want to whitewash history. I don't want to homogenize history. Tell me the wretched truth about America, because that speaks to our greatness. And so what do I want to people to do? It starts with us, man, and you're doing it. I've seen courage of my colleagues. We're doing it, but we have to do more, and I'm sorry. I'm not going to be a politician that's going to say, we are going to do more for you. I'm going to be a politician. I'm going to be a leader that demands more from America. I yield for a question while.
Well, hold on. So speaking of a question, apparently he did break a record. He did break a record.
Would the senator yield for a question?
Chuck Schumer, it's the only time in my life I can tell you no.
I just want to tell you a question. Do you know you have just broken the record? Do you know how proud this caucus is of you? Do you know how proud America is of you?
Yes. So, by the way, I just want to read this here. Booker's move came amid calls for Schumer to step down as minority leader after caving to Republicans during the latest government shutdown crisis. And as polling shows that a large majority of registered Democrats and independent voters who lean Democrat are frustrated with the party for not effectively fighting Trump and supporting working people. Yes, of course. But I just want to remind you, all you guys, right, that this took place in December of 2024. Here's Code Pink right outside Cory Booker's office.
So we are in the Senate today outside the office of Senator Cory Booker because we saw a really, really, really creepy photo of him with somebody who I think is wanted for war crimes. Who is he with? Yeah.
Now, see, the thing is, both Democrat and Republican politicians take money from big pharma, big banks, Wall Street. I mean, look, I hate money in politics. And if you're a politician taking money, especially from AIPAC or any other organization, I call into question, because don't forget, all these politicians, they're taking money in one form or another or doing insider trading one form or another. I mean, they're friends, they're buddies, they're pals. Despite what you hear on the media, they're buddies. All right, they all have the same corporate donor.
Yeah, so Yoav Gallant, who is wanted internationally by the highest court in the world for war crimes, was here, and Cory Booker hosted him yesterday.
Imagine, he was right here walking in these halls.
And there are over 100 countries, right, where if he steps foot there, he would be arrested. But here, Cory Booker invited him into his office. It's not just disappointing, it's absolutely disgusting. I mean, this man spoke about Palestinians very early on as animals. He said they weren't humans. He's directly responsible for the genocide that is happening. He specifically spoke about cutting
Now, I want to be clear here, too, especially when it comes down to Code Pink, because I do call into question Code Pink, because I'd be wrong not to bring this up here with Code Pink. Never forget that when the squad did their infamous little town hall, a crew member from INN was actually there and asked it was for the Justice Democrats, and even Code Pink was there. Code Pink didn't speak out against the Democrats as they were turning a blind eye to what's happening in Gaza. Not a peep. And when that crew member from INN asked that question, then he was told to leave. That was Colin X. Carter, all right? That was Colin from INN who confronted the Justice Democrats. And Code Pink was there in the front row. It was rather shocking that they didn't say anything. And I sometimes I find Code Pink being in these places at the right time a little suspicious. It's almost like kayfabe, like WWE kind of stuff. But just want to throw that out. I also want to give a shout out now to something that's really authentic, and that was, hey, give it up for the Gray Zone. And I had the privilege of actually meeting half of the crew member from the Gray Zone when they were here in Chicago for the DNC convention. Here's Max Blumenthal.
Senator Booker, why have the Democrats just done so little to exercise leverage against Israel while it's
When somebody starts out with the Democrats, I know they're divided.
President Biden? Do you think it's AIPAC money? How much AIPAC money have you taken over your career? And do you think that's had an impact on why Biden has not imposed a red line on Netanyahu's Project 2025 of ethnically cleansing Gaza? Is it meddling for AIPAC to donate so much money?
How many Palestinians does Israel need to kill? How many Palestinians does Israel need to kill before you impose a ceasefire?
Say AIPAC money. Number of Has the hundreds of thousands of dollars you've taken from AIPAC swayed you on Middle East policy, and specifically Israel's Project 2025 of ethnically cleansing Palestine?
How much money have you taken from AIPAC, Senator? How much money have you taken from AIPAC, Senator?
Now, this was all taking place at the United Center in the great city of Chicago. All right. So when I hear Cory Booker, doing this speech, look, I get it. Liberal Democrats, you guys, look, I gave people a fair share warning. All right. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. And look, 2020, like I voted for Biden. Or not Biden. Ugh, ha, stuttered there. Sorry, I got Biden on the brain. I voted for Bernie in the 2020 primary. Okay. But as soon as Bernie just kept on going, my friend Joe, and then finally became a nutless wonder and just dropped out, I just couldn't do it. I was like, what's wrong with you, Democrats? This is it. This is it. I think it's rather sad that this is what they've been reduced to, doing a filibuster. Doing a filibuster to try and make yourselves look tough. Yes, you broke Strom Thurmond's record. You want to have been really a good record to break? Democrats actually following through with your policies. This will not help you, Democrats. This will not aid you. This will not support you. This will not fix anything for you. And yet you want to try and rally and fundraise off this. Actually, you know what? I got some news for everybody. I got news for you. I got news for you, sunshines. I got an email from Cory Booker because I'm just that special. Thanks, Bernie Sanders, for selling out our emails. I may be tired and a little hoarse, but as I've said again and again, this is the moment where we can't afford to be silent. We must speak up. I am filled with hope. My team told me that tens of thousands of you have voiced your support for my remarks on the Senate floor. It will be a while before I can fully get through your messages and powerful stories, but what's clear to me tonight is that this is just the beginning. Americans across this country, no matter their title or party, are ready to be heard. So can you contribute $10? F you, give me money. F you, give me money, Democrats. My God, do you have to be this pathetic? So yes, Democrats once again begging me for money. Yes. That's what it's reduced to. All what this was a glorified fundraiser. 25 hours and 5 minutes. Okay. But will anything be done with all that hot air? No. It won't.